Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chamber here, and we're going to be talking about what 4090 you should buy. Let's say you listen to Tech Yes City and you ate baked beans for 180 days.
For around 40 US cents. That's a bargain.
You saved all your money. And now what 4090 are we going to buy? Because there are a lot of options, and the 40 series is significantly different than the 30 series, the 20 series. These coolers are a lot bigger, and we want to make sure that whatever card you purchase, you're going to be getting the most out of your money. Now, as you can see behind me, there are actually a lot of different 4090s. We're going to be doing all the main brands. We're going to be going through mostly the NA European brands. If you're in an Asian market, there's a little more options. But we're going to be going over the main ones, especially just because these are the ones that I feel like most people will be purchasing. We'll be going over pricing if there is some sizing stuff, and my overall opinions, and even talking about the 4090 that I will be purchasing. So if you guys are interested in this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Trying to grow. Now, before we get into actually talking about the RTX 4090 series, if you guys are interested in, once you get a 40 series graphics card, getting it overclocked, or even if you have a current gen graphics card, so a 30 series, literally any GPU, I will be able to overclock. So you can go to my website, link is down below in the description, chambertech.net. You can click the PC optimization tab. You'll go to my Shopify link. This is where you get my PC overclock and optimization service. You get all the information. It is $100. I will say this, prices will increase, especially as new games come out and there was higher demand. So if you are interested, make sure you purchase it now. Get ready. If you buy a 40 series card, actually, just let me know. We can wait until you get the card. And also, feel free to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/ChamberTech. These GPUs ain't cheap. If I'm getting a 4090, we gotta be able to afford it, because I'm very hoping to get some brand new hardware, even a 7900 XT when those come out. But now, let's get into the video. To start off, we're going to be talking about the Founders Edition card. This is the card you're going to see all the mainstream tech YouTubers reviewing, just because this is the one that NVIDIA has sent them. Now, this is a very big card. It is actually one of the smaller cards. One thing I do like, that if I cannot find a picture, but the I/O, like the I/O plate, the I/O shield, is directly connected to the card. This means there will be significantly less sag. Also on the right side right here, there is on the right side right here, as you can see, there's a little like flip out plate. That is where, if you can get a GPU support bracket, you can get that there, and that'll also fix GPU sag. This card will probably be fine. Do not expect to be able to flash these cards. If you are an overclocker and you like to BIOS flash cards, you will probably be unable to do that. You could not do that on the 20 series or the 30 series, but there definitely will be some good water blocks for this. So if you are, and you can just shunt on it, so it's not really a big deal there. So I'm gonna be using Newegg for pricing. I'm gonna be honest, Newegg is a trash company. I'm just not a big fan of them. I'm going to probably be purchasing it from B&H. If you have the Best Buy Total Tech program, it's like $200. So unless you want to make sure you get a graphics card from Best Buy, don't really pay for that. But if you are interested in doing that, you can, but that is probably going to be the best way to get a graphics card. I'm going to be using B&H. You have to use an email sign up for that, so just make sure you put in your email so that you can actually purchase it. But Newegg is just pretty much for everyone. Asus. Now we're going to be starting off with the Tough, actually. So there are two different versions of the Tough. There's the normal Tough and the Tough OC. From what I looks like, there is actually no difference in these two GPUs. The only difference is the price. So this one's $1,600. That is MSRP for these GPUs. And then there is the $1,800 OC version. I don't see a reason to get the OC version. It's just, don't think of it as, these will be able to overclock the same way, and they have the same coolers. These have 3x92mm fans. This is one of like the smaller graphics cards. It's still going to be pretty big, but this is a card I would recommend, obviously. Honestly, if you just care about air cooling, this will definitely be good for you. There's also the ROG Strix, which the pricing is absolutely insane on it, $2,000. But this is also a feature on the Tough as well. It has dual BIOS on it, has a good backplate, but this one too is massive. This might not even fit in most cases, which is insane. It's 3.5 slots, dual BIOS, obviously. This comes with a 660 watt power limit out of the box. You're going to need a very strong power supply for this. I'm going to be trying and testing a 660 watt BIOS on a 1000 watt power supply. That will be interesting. Subscribe, check out the channel. We'll be having that video out once I get my own 4090. But this will definitely perform well. This is probably going to be like the best air cooler on the market. Now let's just continue. We're going to move on to MSI now. Now onto MSI. Now we're going to be talking about the base model MSI graphics card, the 4090 Gaming X Trio. So this is a very bare bones card, just based off what I know from the 40 series. The 30 series. This will not have an amazing VRM. Be fine for gaming and stuff, but if you're overclocking, might want to avoid this. Also, the IO shield kind of looks like it's connected, so there might be a little bit better. There won't be as much sag, but that's not fully connected, so there might be a little bit of sag there, but it should be fine. This is, I believe, nickel plated, but there is no vapor chamber on this, so it's just normal air and heat sinks. But you can definitely probably BIOS flash. You might be able to BIOS flash all of these cards. But now we're going to be going to the ones that I find are much interesting. That is the Supreme. So there's actually two versions of the Supreme. We're going to talk about the air cooler now. So connected by the IO shield. Obviously something we really want to see, and this is going to make sure that it does not sag at all. These all will come with the 16 to 4 PCI Express cables. I'm a little worried by this. If you can get a direct cable from your power supply to this, just to make sure that you don't have to worry about that at all. But this honestly looks like a great cooler. This has a vapor chamber on it. It's nickel plated. But let's say you're not a big fan of air cooling. You can look at the Supreme Liquid. Now, before I mention it, the air cooler is $1,700, $1,750 for the air cooled version. The liquid cooled. So if you can fit a 240mm AIO in your system and you can afford the extra $50, I would recommend this card. This is the GPU I will be getting. Maybe wait until I get one. So A, I can make sure that I get one. And second of all, you can make sure it's good. This one is copper plated, so liquid metal might not be the best, but I definitely am excited to see this graphics card. This also has a 660 watt power limit. One thing also, Micro Center is scalping these GPUs for $50 more, just MSI, because they know these will be the good ones. But this is also the smallest 4090, I believe, that will be coming out of the box. It ends at the PCB because there's nothing else to cool it. There's no actual heat sink on the GPU itself. It's all through the radiator. These also come with very good, high quality, like Noctua-like fans. Very good fans. But now we're going to be talking about a brand I'm not so fond of. Maybe they'll fix it this gen, but Gigabyte. Now on the Gigabyte, these cards are not actually on retailers yet. So from my guess, the Windforce here will be about $1,600. This is the very basic card, all black. Doesn't look like anything special in my opinion. Let's see if there's any pictures here. I believe there's, yes. So as you can see, nothing really special. About a 4 slot GPU. This is very big. It is not connected by the IO plate. So there will be significantly more sag. A flow through design, apparently holes in a PCB now are like marketing. I don't know why, but this will be a card I'm not going to recommend. Next up is the Gaming OC. This will be about $1,700. RGB in the fans. So if you want to vertically mount, which you shouldn't be vertically mounting a air cooled card, you can and see the RGB. It looks good in my opinion, but it is not going to perform the best. Also, Gigabyte cards definitely are not the best quality-wise. This is not connected by the IO shield. That's kind of like something I really want to see, especially with these heavy cards now. You're going to be a little worried, but these should be fine for daily use. If you are an overclocker, though, just take in mind you want the bigger heatsink or a liquid-cooled version. Next up is the Master. This GPU is massive. This is so massive, it does not fit in an O11 dynamic. It is too wide that you cannot put the glass on it. This GPU is going to be tough to put this on. It looks like it might be connected to the IO shield. I don't know. I wish they had the IO shield to be 3 slots because you're not going to be putting anything in that 3rd slot because there's a whole bunch of plastic and fans covering it. That could have added extra rigidity. For example, my 2080 Ti has that, but it's an EVGA card. RIP EVGA GPUs, by the way. I am excited to see this. what is this little flow through thing doing? Nothing. I don't see what it's doing. But this is going to be a very big GPU. I'm guessing it'll perform actually very fine for cooling. It's a massive heat sink. If you're a Gigabyte person, let's say all your stuff is Gigabyte, this would probably be a good one. Probably be very expensive. I'm going to guess $1,800 plus. And then they have the Extreme Water Force. Now, let's take a look at this. And this has a 360 millimeter AIO. This is the big card. So this actually looks a little bit smaller possibly than the Supreme. But one thing I'm going to say is if you cannot fit a 360 millimeter AIO in your rig, for example, I cannot fit a second 360 millimeter AIO. This one will not really fit, but this looks like a very small graphics card. This actually looks smaller than the Supreme. I just saw this while I was prepping the video. Fans look fine. One thing I don't like is that there's no fan on the actual GPU itself. I mean, it'll probably be fine. It looks like the tubes come out the side, so who knows. If you like Gigabyte or you want a 360 millimeter out of the box, this is the card to get. But once again, I'm going to be going with the Supreme. Just knowing how cooling works, I don't feel like you're going to need an insane liquid cooler. For example, I had a 280 millimeter on my 2080 Ti that I modded on there, and I was pulling 600 watts just fine, not going above 50C. You get some good thermal paste, you'll be fine. For gaming, obviously, you don't even have to worry about that. This looks like a good card, though. This is actually something I'd look at, but this will be most likely very expensive. Now on to Zotac. I just realized I said that the Extreme Water Force is expensive, like all these 4090s aren't expensive. If you like 4090 content, though, hit that subscribe button, because obviously we got to show everyone what kind of FPS you can get with a 4090, because it will destroy the 6900 XT, destroy a 3090 Ti. This will be good. Now for Zotac, you have two different models of graphics cards so far. So you have the Trinity. This is like your base model. This looks like a boat. It looks like a boat. I don't know why, but this will just be fine. It looks like a very much smaller like air cooler. I do like the 3 IO shields, and it looks like it might be connected right here. That is a very big plus for Zotac there. This actually might be one of the better base price GPUs. This or the Tough would be the two I'd recommend at base price if you still want an air cooler. This actually looks very good. I'm actually very surprised. Good job, Zotac. I'm proud of you for this one. It comes with a RGB thing, a GPU support, a Pokemon card, and three PCI Express. I guess that will probably mean it'll have a lower power limit. So just think about that when you were buying this GPU. 4x8 PCI Express to the 16 will definitely have significantly higher power limits than the ones that only support 3. 3 will probably only have about a 450 watt limit. This is a base price card. They're gonna not want to be like, oh, let's max out the power limit on the cheap ones. No, this is how they artificially limit these. That's also why I have not even talked about base or boost clocks at all, because they do not matter if you are overclocking. It doesn't matter. All these cards typically will perform the same. When you overclock them, it's just the power limit out of the box and just them trying to artificially limit you to have you pay more. This one does also have dual BIOS, which is a great thing, especially if you're BIOS flashing. Let's say you fail a flash, you always have a backup. But now we have the Amp Extreme Aero. I don't know why that name is just so. Once again, connected by the IO shield. Yeah, this is a massive GPU. This is a little over 3 slots, 3 fans. Looks like three very good fans, a very massive heatsink there, as you can see. That's a very good thing. Good job, Zotac. I am very proud of that. Zotac has actually come a long way from the GPUs. They used to have very trash GPUs, and now they're a lot better. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit that like button down below, subscribe. You can join my Discord, all that other stuff. I did not mention like Galax, Inno3D palette, just because I don't find typically those GPUs. Just find a GPU that's very similar to these, reference that information, and you'll typically be able to find it. The things I find most important, having a vapor chamber on these. You want to have very good cooling on these. They're going to get hot. 660 watts, literally a space heater. So guess we're ready for the winter, boys. That's going to be a very big deal. I'm excited for the 4090 launch. If you're also excited, make sure you get ready. Watch the channel. I'm going to be streaming on YouTube, me overclocking my GPU when I get it. But Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Peace.